Ivan. I'm the CEO of Ametria, and this is Lifecycle. This is the conference for retail marketers that we have been running for 10 years. Look at this journey that we've been on together. Hands up, who's been to Lifecycle before? There we go, half the room. We couldn't have done it without you. You are who have made this happen. In fact, can we do a round of applause for yourselves? Can we? Thank you. It was once a tiny room. That was a Soho nightclub. I don't know why we chose that for the first venue. About 15 people turned up. I think we've got about 300 people here today. By the way, there are a couple of seats. If there's anyone in the back, you're not going to interrupt me. Please feel free to come and sit in any of these seats. As we begin, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you to think back to the reason that you decided to become a retail marketer. Your passion for customers, your passion for creativity, your passion for making an impact. I bet you didn't get into retail marketing to deal with economic recessions. Nobody wants to deal with those. What a year it has been for retail. We met here a year ago for Lifecycle 2023, and we were in the depths of the economic slowdown. It was terrible. Inflation was sky high. Interest rates were soaring. Mortgage rates were going up. A packet of crisps apparently cost £5 these days. So consumer spend had collapsed and consumer confidence was non-existent. As you can imagine, this was pretty terrible for retail. Retailers were going into administration every single week. This is a list of all UK-based retail businesses that failed in 2023. We'd be here until lunch if I carried on going with it. It's practically endless. And the worst thing about it was that back then, the direction of travel was down. So every day it was getting harder and harder. It was getting worse and worse. And so here we are today, Lifecycle 24, a year later, and it's still hard. There's actually one of those lists on the same website about the retailers that have gone out of business in 24, and it's also quite long. And now our CEOs and our boards are setting us impossible targets and expecting us to hit them. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Anyone experience this? How about this AI-generated image of a retail CEO? Is it representative of your typical weekly trading meeting? Anyway, I hear this more and more often as I speak to our clients. Retention is working. CRM is working. And so now I need you to do even better to make up for everything else, which is terrible. And I think we're all pretty tired of that. We're tired. We need a break. We're ready for the world to get easier again. Well, here's a universal truth. It's actually written on my neighbor's car, and I see it every morning when I wake up and walk out the house. This too shall pass. I remember back in the depths of COVID reading a bunch of articles about previous pandemics just to try and get my head around what was coming next, what it was going to be like. And this is one article that I really remember. It was written by somebody who lived in Singapore during the SARS epidemic. And SARS was really intense, so this article, it was very heavy. But the thing that really resonated with me and the thing that stuck with me since then is the way that he described the end. He said, one day, I was walking down the street, and I looked around, and I suddenly realized that none of us were wearing masks anymore. And without any of us noticing, it was all over. And that's exactly what happened with SARS. That's exactly what happened with COVID, and that is exactly what is going to happen to this economic environment as well. And we're starting to see green shoots already. We're starting to see GDP going in the right direction. Inflation appears to be under control. It seems interest rates will start to come down sometime later on this year. And so with the economy working, with our mortgage payments coming down, with our bills getting lower, it seems that the obvious next step is that consumer spending will start to creep up. And soon, out of nowhere, we will see the sort of spending splurge that makes this industry such a crazy and such an exciting place to work in. One day, we will look around, and the high streets will be full, and our websites will be straining under the traffic, and all our budgets will be exceeded, and we'll all be running around trying to get enough stock to keep up with all of the demand. So as we were thinking about the theme for this year's Life Cycle, we came up with Retail Revival. But not because retail is reviving itself. That will come one day. It's clearly not happening yet, and we don't know how long we're going to need to wait for that. So no, we settled on Retail Revival because we have 300 incredible retail marketers in this room right now. And so we, together, today, are going to make a plan for how we are going to revive retail. Because we're going to hear from some of the fastest growing brands. We're going to hear the strategies that they are deploying and using right now to drive their growth. We're going to have some incredible collaborative brainstorming roundtable discussions, and we will come back full of energy, full of ideas, and we're going to tell our CEOs and our boards this is how we're going to deliver growth for our business right now. We are going to make that happen. As I was preparing for this talk, I thought, what knowledge could I share that would be actually useful and interesting to all of you? There are so many incredible practitioners here today. They're going to be sharing their next level marketing strategies. They're innovating. They're at the cutting edge of CRM, of retention every single day. They are much better versed in that than I am. But if there's something that I know and that we at Emetria know a lot about, it is retail-specific technology and the very complex and ever-evolving landscape around that. And over the past couple of years, we have seen the complexity in that space become, frankly, almost ridiculous. Here is the kind of thing that we hear on a weekly basis at the moment. Do we need a customer data platform or a customer engagement platform or an ESP or a DMP or a CDXP or a CDW? And who should be making that decision anyway? Is it the tech team or the marketing team? And hey, do we need one of them or do we need one of each? And should it plug into our data warehouse and that's it? Or does it need to go into all of our systems to pull it all together? And are we talking about it replacing all of our point marketing solutions or empowering them? And is it a piece of software or are we looking for a strategic partner here? And AI, yes, AI, how much of that do we need? Has anyone had to deal with these kind of questions recently? Anyone know what I'm talking about? Yes, couple of hands, there we go, okay. So that seems pretty intense. In fact, here's another AI-generated image of a retail team deciding their tech stack. I have literally never seen a retail office look anything like that. Normally, a retail office is covered in product and is a complete tip. But I do like the creative names it's come up with. What do we have here? Retail Tech Platform. Customer Dat Plot Farm. I think it's onto something. Anyway, let's see if we can unpick all of this and see if we can answer some of these questions. And as with any complex problem, the best place to start always is with the fundamentals, with first principles. So let me ask you this very important question. What is the single most essential component for the success of a retail business? Shout out if you've got an idea. Anyone? Come on, let's bring some energy to your room. Customer, thank you, there we go. It is the customer. Now, some of you might be thinking the product, and don't get me wrong, there are some brands that are incredibly good at getting product right, Skims, for example. But the thing with product is, if you take a bit of time and enough money and the right people, you can create product. You can create great product. Customers are limited. You can't really make more of them. Or well, you can, but you've got to wait a couple of decades and they don't have much spending money, so that doesn't really work. Customers are so rare, they are the most limited resource that we have, and therefore the most essential component for the success of retail. Understanding them, getting to know them, making them feel special, making sure that they keep coming back to us instead of disappearing off to one of our competitors forever. And Emetria actually launched with this exact mission 11 years ago. This photo of our old office. We were the very first CDP, customer data platform. To this day, 11 years later, we've raised $75 million. We have 200 incredible retail clients. We are still the only customer data platform built exclusively for retail. But it has not been an easy journey. Nobody knew what a CDP was back then. And frankly, as we just saw, nobody really knows what a CDP is now. But if there is one thing that retail marketers have always known, and know now more than ever, it is the importance of understanding their customers. So if we agree that understanding our customers and getting that experience right is the most important essential foundation for retail success, then we must find a way through all of those questions. We must find a way through the complex landscape. And let's see if we can do that from the point of view of the customer. Here is Jess. I think she was actually in Lana's last slide. I don't know if you remember the Osprey London one. Anyway, here's Jess. She absolutely expects in 2024 to be treated like a unique individual. So we're going to need a profile of her based on all of her behavior, but that is 2014 tech. Everyone can do that now. So these days, we're going to need to go further than that. We're going to need to go beyond. We're going to need to use AI, and we're going to need to understand all of her preferences, all of her interests. We're going to need to work out when and how we should be communicating with her. And then, of course, we have to actually go and communicate with her. And back in the day, that was pretty easy because we just sent her an email. That worked for a long time, for many years. But not anymore. It's 2024. Now she has signed up with us for SMS, but she definitely expects those to be personalized. Nobody wants a generic text message once a week on their phone. And she doesn't mind being reminded of you on her favorite social media, TikTok, and a bit of Instagram, which she still sometimes uses, and maybe even Google when she searches on there, as long as it's relevant too. And great news, you were able to get her to download your app. So the occasional push notification is fine as well. She expects all of that. But she definitely doesn't want all of it. The perfect mix across all of those channels with just the right frequency and exactly the right content, nothing else is going to do. And when she finally buys, she's most likely going to buy on her mobile phone, whether on your website or on the app. And that phone screen is still pretty small. So she needs to find exactly what she's looking for, and very quickly. Now, of course, your business has got a very specific strategy. You've got categories that you want to promote. You want products that you need to sell through. And yet, she needs to find exactly what she's after. And you've only got a couple of seconds to do it, to make her feel at home, to make sure that she doesn't disappear off somewhere else. And Jess also enjoys these days a trip to the high street. Because much like all of us, she's tired of sitting at home staring at a computer screen. We've done that for far too many years. So she is enjoying connecting physically with her favorite brands. She's enjoying feeling the product. She's enjoying seeing what else is out there. So we are going to need to make that very easy for her. And we're going to need to remind her to make sure that she comes along, make sure that she doesn't forget. Suddenly, this is all starting to come together. It's not really technology that we need. Technology is just a means to an end. We just need whatever it's going to take to create that kind of experience in a way that doesn't give us any extra hassle, and not just for Jess, but for millions of our customers all at the same time. What should that platform be called? Who cares? Ultimately, as long as it can create that experience for us and it makes our lives easier, not harder, we've got what we need. By looking at this from the point of view of the customer and of the customer experience we're trying to create, the answers to these questions actually become very, very simple. Should we get lots of different platforms? Should we get a separate CDP run by the tech team so we have to ask them every single time we need to make a change? It doesn't seem to make sense in the world of the customer experience. Who should be making the decision? Well, if it is us, the people in this room, marketers, that are crafting those experiences, and it's those experiences that are driving the success of our business today, as we hear over and over in boardrooms, surely it should be marketers that should be calling the shots about the technology stack that they use. Should it replace our point solutions? Should it empower them? Well, let's take a step back. If a unified, holistic experience is key, we need to be able to orchestrate it all in one place. And AI, yes, we're going to need to work out for each of our customers how to keep them interested, how to keep them engaged, when and how to communicate with them. So actually, all these questions and all these answers are suddenly very, very clear. Imagine we've solved this problem. Imagine you've gone through this process, you've answered the questions in your own way, you've worked out the exact experience that you're trying to create, and you now have your perfect tech stack. What next? There's still one more question up there that I haven't clicked on, because what comes next is working out what on earth to do. And that is just as confusing as the tech landscape. Do you set up more automation campaigns? Do you improve the segmentation of your broadcast? Do you launch a new channel, SMS perhaps? Do you focus on your core market, or do you start doing separate individual marketing strategies for your international ones? We need to work out, where do we start? Where do we go? And then we need to keep iterating as the world keeps changing around us. Well, we have a very special announcement today, something we've been working on for a long time. For a decade, actually, we've heard more and more from our clients that one of the most valuable and the most unique things that Emetria brings to the table is our deep expertise in retail. And actually, I'd like to take a very small interlude that I need your help with, a very personal interlude. Because at Emetria, every Tuesday, we have our all-hands meeting. And our all-hands meeting is called Emetrians Assemble. It's very nerdy, I can't help myself with the names. We kick it off with the Metriversaries. You can see where we're going with this. The Metriversary is a celebration of somebody who's been at Emetria for multiple years. And today, to the day, I checked the employment contract a couple of weeks ago, marks the very first 10-year Metriversary. that we've ever had. Rita, I'm going to make you very embarrassed. Could you please stand up for us? So thank you. You've beaten me to Rita as our lead retail marketing strategist, and for 10 years she has helped all of our clients, hundreds of clients, create incredibly successful strategies, customer experiences. Many of the clients are in the room today. So Rita, thank you from all of us, and all of the people in the room for everything that you've done. So Rita leads our retail intelligence team, and over the last couple of years, we have combined the deep knowledge and expertise of our retail intelligence team with input from our advisory board, who are 12 of the top global retail marketing leaders, like Sophie, whom you'll hear from later on today, and also with the deep technical knowledge of our product and data science team. And we've brought it all together into a unique AI product that does not exist anywhere else on the market. This product launched last year. It's now live with about 10 of our clients. And today, we're very excited to formally announce to the world, Ametria Architect, the perfect Sherpa for your retail revival journey. Architect surfaces your top revenue-generating opportunities. It does it via proprietary AI trained on a data set of 30 billion retail-specific touchpoints. This is not some ChatGPT thing that everybody has. We also have the ChatGPT thing that everyone has. But this is a very unique set of 15 algorithms that we have worked on for a decade, that we have trained, that we have updated, that we have iterated. And it is there to answer your most strategic business questions around channel mix, around customer growth, around category expansion, around international markets, and more. There's so much to tell you and so much to show you. I'm not even going to try and do it now and do it here. For the moment, think of it as your personal retail-specific McKinsey in your pocket. Please come and talk to us afterwards. We're around. We'd love to tell you more if it sounds interesting. And let's just take 30 seconds to hear from Finisterre about their experience with it.
Architect brings in billions of data points that no single human brain would be able to hold, and it allows us to find opportunities to drive our growth.
They are able to pull out key insights about your brand and how you are tracking against your peers. So the objectives that have come out of Architect have been a game changer for us. Being with Ametria has allowed us to trust in the platform, trust in the team, and ultimately drive new opportunities and success.
But anyway, it is time for us to move into our first roundtable discussion. We have just heard about how that complex technology ecosystem is actually not that complex, as long as you look at it from the point of view of the foundation, the customer experience that you are trying to create. We've heard about a new AI product that can help guide you on your retail revival journey. And so let me now end with this. Imagine a world where your workday is redefined by freedom. Freedom from mundane tasks, freedom from battling with technology, freedom from impossible targets, not, it seems, freedom from AI spelling mistakes. We're going to have to put up with those for a while. But imagine you've got the perfect technology to be able to execute your customer experiences. You've got Architect there. It's making the complex simple. It is helping you with your priorities, and your role evolves. It evolves from managing systems to truly engaging with your customers, to crafting campaigns that are not just effective, but which are profoundly impactful. Your role evolves into what you've always wanted your role to be. With these two foundations, you become not just marketers, you become architects of growth, architects of revival. Your creativity is unleashed. No longer are you trying to survive the market, keep up with targets, but you're thriving, you're excelling, you're pushing your brands to the highest of heights. You finally have the time, the space to be able to enjoy your most unique, your most human of talents and creativity. So as we jump into the conversation now, let's remember why we decided to become marketers. And let's imagine this world. Let's make it real. Let's go and revive retail together. Thank you.